Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. I am so excited to bring you this one here today. We are looking at the Uncanny X-Men 129 Facsimile Edition by Chris Claremont, John Byrne, Terry Austin, and Glynis Wein. It is so good. One of my absolute favorite issues of Uncanny X-Men. I'm so excited that they did a Facsimile edition. I cannot wait to share it with you. So subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. I love facsimile editions. I keep seeing, oddly, because everyone has to debate everything, are facsimile editions good or bad for for comic books? And I think anytime you're introducing new readers to old stories or making any comics for any reason, it's a good thing for comics, okay? Like, oh, does it ruin the value of X-Men 129, like the original copy? Perhaps, maybe, but I don't give a shit about your comic book sitting in a basement, like, whether it's worth $50 instead of $90. Like, I want to read this comic book, and it looks great. I love, like, seeing them printed, in better quality. Some people say they should be printed on newsprint, which on one hand, I think it keeps it more authentic, but then on the other hand, the better print paper showcases the art better. So we already have, if we already have the newsprint in your precious original edition, so there you have it. If you don't like facsimiles, don't buy them. For people who love them, thank God they're here. I mean, why waste this? And I think this is the introduction of Kitty Pryde, which is probably why it's always been one of my favorite issues, as I loved her so much. Look at this beautiful splash page. See, this is always so interesting. This is very telling of the time in comic books. You know, we're opening a new story, but it's ending with the arc that happened before. The X-Men are returning, or they're leaving. They're leaving Muir Island here, whatever. The Blackbird. I mean, just look at the sublime inking and penciling from John Byrne and Terry Austin. Look how pretty Phoenix and Jean Grey looks. I love them so much. I always love this panel, too. I mean, this just goes to show, like, why John Byrne just, like, stood out and what he did was so great. I mean, like, look at this. The X-Men riding home in the Blackbird. And they all are, have their different body language. And they're all, like, just acting so perfectly. It's what George Perez talked about that a lot, like in his storytelling and his art, about how the characters were like acting and having them act appropriately and stuff. And I feel like John Byrne is totally in that same vein. Love this Hubba Bubba ad. Oh my God, I loved bubblegum so much when I was little. Remember Bubblicious, y'all? Anyway, I came into X-Men with like 162 or 163, so I totally missed the Byrne era and like had to get it retroactively through back issues, which I gobbled up and like changed my life. You know what I mean? So good. I don't know. I would just, it's funny because John Byrne still can draw and he's still amazing. And I don't know, he's old, and we should have like one last X-Men graphic novel by Byrne and Claremont from this era. I mean, could you imagine? They would have to make a movie about it because it would be so epic. Like, it would be like Joan Crawford and Betty Davis level drama, I'm totally there for that. So that would be cool. One thing I also love about the facsimile editions is like, it's the whole thing. It's like the original ads and everything. Oh my gosh, if I could go back in time, like, why did I not get a ROM doll when it came out originally? And I would also love to just like order like these old iron-on t-shirts, set of four, all four $2 value for only $1. Oh my gosh, you can get 4 iron-ons for only $1? What a deal. Oh, I forgot to read the credits page, but we know Chris Claremont and John Byrne, writer, artist, co-plotters. Terry Austin, inker. Tom Orzechowski, letterer. Bob Sharon, I gave credit to Glynis Wein. Imagine that. I didn't know Bob Sharon colored some of John Byrne's run. Interesting. I wonder if it was just one issue or if he predated Glynis. I'm so confused now. But that explains like the purple tree with the orange leaves now. I was like, there's some interesting color choices happening here. Back in the day, they had less sophisticated coloring and it was all flat, so they had to be like kind of imaginative. And I think that Marvel, especially in like the 70s, did like such an amazing job with that. Here we go. My beloved Kitty Pryde. I love her so much. Like, I just wanted to be her so much to the fact that I wanted to be Jewish, and I didn't even, being a white Lutheran from Toledo, Ohio, I had no idea what being Jewish meant. But I think that's like the great power of the X-Men too. You know what I mean? It's like introducing so many different cultural diversity, and just, showing different parts of the world and letting kids know that, there's so much out there, I guess. But I also wanted to be, a vegetarian because Raven in the Teen Titans was a vegetarian. So, and, kids just are very influential like that. I always thought that this was such a cool, seeing this just like little, I feel like, as great and epic in scope, like people, the Dark Phoenix saga or, Proteus or whatever. Of course, these are great sweeping stories, but it's like the little character moments and like the little story beats that they put in there that just make it so cool. Like Kitty Pryde's dad's hair. What the hell is that? Anyway, but she has a headache. She has a migraine because her mutant powers are manifesting. So, we know Kitty can face. So she takes a nap to, like, get rid of her migraine and wakes up in the living room because, like, her powers made her face. But I love that. Like, that was the fun of, like, the mutants. Like, their powers were dangerous and unpredictable. And it tied into them going through puberty. So your body's doing things that you don't know what it's doing, up to and including, phasing through to the dining room or living room floor, but crazy, right? I also love this. Like, this is so funny. I love Storm and her civvies here. Like, it's basically, like, such a variation of her costume. Do we see it earlier in here? I think we do. But I just think it's, like, so funny. Yeah, like, that's her costume, basically, but with, like, a vest over it or something. Love Emma Frost. Love Emma as a villain, by the way. She should always stay a villain. Like, I feel like that's one of the weirdest things with the X-Men is they're always making their villains their friends. You know what I mean? It's like Rogue, I see that more, like, because, it makes sense the way that they did it. But, I don't know, like White Queen, I would be, like, hard-pressed to invite her to join the team, to be honest with you. But this is so good. All of, like, hilarious, classic. Like, they're in the malt shop and the owner calls out Wolverine for looking at this penthouse. And, of course, Peter's looking over his shoulder. Baj moi, I've never seen a nude woman before. Oh, my goodness. Scratch. I mean, you can't have a malt without somebody, crashing the party like this, obviously. Dun-dun. I hope they do a facsimile edition of the Dazzler issue. I mean, they kind of have to, right? They should do facsimile editions of every single Byrne Claremont issue. I mean, there's not a waste in the bunch. So happy to be doing a Byrne book. My happy place for sure. Debut with the Dazzler, please, yes. I mean, Giving Till It Hurts, the deadline looming, the second to last panel, and Terry Austin, of course, has to throw in this gorgeous, like, stipple to give his beautiful inking texture. Oh my God, we're stripping down the X-Men and gonna cage them up. Ugh, I don't know, guys. The X-Men was never better than it is now. I love facsimile editions. This is beautiful. This is gorgeous. This is amazing. Never pass on a facsimile edition. Trust. I mean, modern comics just aren't as good as they were back in the day. I mean, mainly from the back two, especially. And so facsimile editions are arguably the best books that they're publishing anyway. So thank you for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and I'll bring you more later.